Hey, what's up everyone? I don't always use a cinema rig, but when I do, everything serves some kind of purpose. In this video, I've got a walkthrough of my Panasonic GH5 cinema rig and why I use some of the tools I do. I'm gonna take my Panasonic GH5 from this to this. If you're new to this channel, my name is Caleb and I've been doing freelance video production since 2012. But this channel is a channel to help you make your own videos, whether you just started or you've been making them for a while. If that's something you're interested in, it'd be awesome if you hit that subscribe button. Let me preface this video by saying this. Do you need all of this stuff to make awesome videos? No. A lot of times a simpler setup is better depending on the context you're filming. But do some of these tools help? Absolutely. Now, I've also got all of these things linked below and they are affiliate links, which totally help this channel. So let's get into it and let's build a rig. All right, so what I'm gonna do is start building the rig and I'm gonna talk about each piece before I put it on, and don't worry, I'll speed up everything that I put on so the video's not like half-hour long. So to start with the camera, I use the GH5 and I've done plenty of videos on the GH5. If you wanna check those out, I'll have them listed down in the description. But the GH5 has a ton of cinematic features that make it super easy to use, either for client work or even for YouTube. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put it in the cage, and I'm using the small rig cage for the GH5 and GH5S. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is attach the metabones for the Canon mount, and I'll get into the lens I use in just a minute. But one of the things I recommend for the metabones is getting this bracket from Small Rig that's gonna attach it and secure it to the cage so there's no movement whatsoever. Sometimes once you start putting a follow focus on, it'll kind of shift the lens just a little bit. And so having that bracket will really help tone those movements down. So let's put that on. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the monitor mount on, because sometimes the way I mount it onto the cage, it's kind of hard to get to sometimes with the lens on. So I'm gonna put the monitor mount on first, and then we'll get to some of these other parts. And for the monitor mount, I'm using the Small Rig. Technically it's supposed to go on the top, but I mount it to the front because I like the monitor actually a little bit lower, which I'll show you in just a second. And it gives plenty of space to put the top handle on, which is another thing I'll put on here in just a moment. Now again, remember, I've got all of this stuff linked down in the description below if you feel like any of this stuff would help your production value. So let's start talking about the lens. I use the Sigma 18-35 1.8 pretty much all the time when I'm on a rig, because I love this lens, first of all, but also the zoom is all internal, so nothing is coming out of the end of the lens. Then with the Ultra 0.71 speed booster, I can get down to a 1.3 with this whole rig. All right, now I got the lens on, and for a filter, I'm using the Tiffin Black Pro Mist, which really helps, especially in interviews, kind of tone it down, gives less digital image looking and really softens up the image. So I like tossing that on as well. All right, the next part, we're gonna put it on the rails, and I've been using the Foca DP500 series, which I think is a really great series, because you got the rail and you got the follow focus and some of these other accessories that attach right on there, no problem. So let's put this on the rail. All right, so now let's go ahead and mount the follow focus and this other bracket that will help support the lens. So let's get this on before we get the follow focus on. Now I like the Foca DP500 follow focus system because it's got a good grip. It's got these set points where you can set the ranges. Overall, I think it's a really great follow focus system. All right, and then this other bracket that I have helps support the lens. Sometimes if you get longer lenses on there, the lens might start collapsing a little bit. This is just gonna hold that lens in place. So you can see here how it holds it right in place. All right, so now we got it caged up, we got it on the rails, we got the follow focus on. Let's put on the monitor, and for the monitor, I use the 7-inch small HD. And this is great because you have false color on there and you've got waveforms, and it just gives you an overall bigger screen to look at to kind of adjust your image as need be. You can also put your own LUTs in there, if you're shooting in Vlog, you can see what it looks like with one of those LUTs. So this is a great monitor. The 5-inch monitor is a great monitor as well. So if you're rigging up your camera, one of the essential parts, I think, is the monitor. So let's get that on here. All right, and again, I said I put it on the front of the cage because I kind of like the lower profile, so it's not like way up here. It's a little bit lower profile and leaves plenty of space for this grip, which I'm gonna put on next. All right, so far this is what I've got. I'll give a side view. All right, and then we've got one more piece that we're gonna put on there. And this actually isn't a piece that I've been using a whole lot lately, but this is the Deity D3 Pro that I actually won in Twitter. So I haven't used it a whole lot yet, but I thought I'd put it on this rig because it looks pretty good on this rig actually. So let's toss that on and I'll show you how I mount that. Now with where I have my monitor, I can't use the other accessory mount, and I really don't want it off on this side because this is where I hold the camera. And so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this articulating arm to kind of place the mic right up in this area. So let's put the mic on. I've got the mic on, I've got the monitor, top handle, follow focus, I've got it all on the rail system, caged up with the small rig. So there's my cinema rig. Now I'll say it over and over. You don't need a ton of stuff to make awesome videos, but sometimes these tools really help. If there's something you're interested in, make sure you check out the links below and don't leave this video without subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.